hope everyone's well and welcome back to another weekly outlook. So cool. It's been, well, I would say, a pretty eventful week trades wise. Nothing crazy that was offered. I did do one trade breakdown. Overall, that specific trade didn't even hit our drawn liquidity. It actually made us sort of change our plan for price, right, and what we expect in the short and midterm. And as I said, like the week did move quite a bit, but nothing crazy in terms of what we could have called or what we expected as the week began. So now, let's rewind a little. Let's start by talking about what we actually expected for the US 30-year, the US 10-year, and the DXY before we came into previous week and this week, right? So now, for the previous week, we knew we wanted to see a move higher. We were looking at this area as IOFED. We didn't really get a sweep or an IOFED, but prices did push towards our buy side target. We've absolutely wiped this, and we've done it with a lot of, energy, let's say, a lot of momentum. Now, to me, this is looking like manipulation. We're getting that strong break above. We've even had a close above, but really and truly, I think new yearly candle has begun. A new presidential term has begun. We've got a lot of added volatility to the market, and it was a bit slow for a bit. We can see this as a sort of large accumulation, and now we're getting a break above finally. So even on the bond yields, I would like to see this as a accumulation, manipulation, and then eventually you want to see the distribution towards the sell side. Right now, in the very short term, right, meaning next week, what do we want to see? We've built a bit of a dealing range, and I know we have taken the buy side. Unless we can absolutely hammer through, a low like this, perhaps maybe even lower, because really and truly we have a weekly fair value gap sitting here that can provide support. I wouldn't have that sort of, mid-term / long-term switch on bias just yet. I think it's very likely we get to see the DXY kick a bit higher. That in about 10 days or so, Donald Trump gets inaugurated, meaning he actually comes into his presidency. And that will, of course, have a, big impact on the markets. And another thing to definitely be aware of, right, to consider, which is not off the table, is actually this buy side target. Because considering how fast we're moving up here, there is a given chance that we can actually sweep the buy side here. Would I bet on it just yet? But if this week comes and we move even closer this way, sorry, and it's very likely that we actually can, right? So as our US 30-year, we had a very similar expectation. The US 10-year, right? Very similar scenario. We've taken the buy side. The charts are shaping up practically identical. But however, here we actually did manage to get the IOFED that sponsored the move up. And we've broken through the buy side and we're just above, right? And again, this buy side is potentially in reach if we can get one more large push towards, right? Something to consider. The DXY, now cool. The DXY, let's actually talk first about what happened this week, what we wanted to see. Right, for those of you that have watched the trade breakdown, it was also like a mid-week outlook, and it gave you an idea of what I expected as the candles form. But with the way this Monday played out, right, initially what we wanted to consider on the charts was, look, you have a daily fair value gap. We know price can IOFED this and get early move high, right? But the way the Monday hammered down, traded through this fair value gap, we became pretty confident, this is probably a bearish order block. You want to see Tuesday run that previous daily low into this weekly fair value gap. Right, if we look at the weekly fair value gap, very obvious one. You've got 3 candles sort of clustered here now, leading into this lot of sell side liquidity, right? And we knew on the 4-hour accumulation, manipulation, there's a good chance we get distribution before a carried on move this way. What actually happened is price did not do that, due to Trump talking about some new dollar tariffs on imports and exports. Price actually just had, wouldn't call it random, a sort of pump out of nowhere on the Tuesday, which was then carried on throughout the week. And then based on the numbers on our ADP and the NFP coming in different to what was expected, prices actually traded higher on the dollar, taking the high, which eventually was a target for us, not something we traded towards. But now we sit just above the high, right? So what is the sort of expectation from here? Now to consider, right, monthly candle first of all. We've taken the previous monthly high, we've traded quite high. This target is not a target for being on the DXY just yet anytime soon. What I am paying attention to more so is that this is an accumulation. We've had a strong breakout. I'm seeing this as a manipulation. And again, similar to the bond deals, we want to see that distribution lower eventually, right? Just to give you that perspective. I always spoke this about 2 weeks ago. Now, on a weekly chart, the way this candle has formed, it is very likely when the next candle opens up, we are getting a run higher before we are getting anything lower. Once we do get that lower reversal, this fair value gap is the area to push. This is where all the sell side liquidity is engineered. And now this would mean this fair value gap has been in the market and untouched for 1, 2, 3 weeks. And like I said, we have a lot of sell side plus accumulation, the previous week is lower one, right? So what do we want to see? We want to see price initially push higher, take that previous weekly high. If we can take that buy side and get some displacement lower, then we can consider talking about trading down to this target. Cool. As we come into the week, we actually have some decent news events. Nothing on the Monday, but we have PPI on the Tuesday, which you always know is followed by the CPI, which should be the main mover of the week. And we also have retail sales and unemployment claims. Not much of the Friday, but that middle of the week is jam-packed. And it's very likely from the Tuesday we start setting the stage and the scene. It wouldn't surprise me if Monday is quite a small candle, maybe an accumulative candle, allowing Tuesday to take that previous weekly high and then start the distribution this way, right? Once we can get that kicked down, then we can talk about, shorting towards here. Same with the CPI. If PPI provides that reversal, right, then it would just make our life easy. Then we know we just have a daily chart continuation this way until this is hit. But perhaps PPI won't do that, depending on what the Monday does, and then we might get a midweek reversal with the CPI. Those are the two sort of main profiles to consider here on the DXY, right? But where it is right now and where we are in the sort of year, there's no rush, guys. Right? I mentioned in one of the first videos I posted, you really probably want to make sure that first trade you take, if you haven't taken a trade already, is a winner. Just be patient. I know, especially this reversal here, including myself, caught a lot of people off guard, right? Very sort of, unexpected. And what that means is, the market's a bit volatile. There's a lot of things going on. Even, what I spoke about Trump's presidency, with him coming in, that's not even going to be on for us, factory. Right? That's like another thing to consider. There's a lot of things happening in the background, and sometimes you get caught off guard. So cool. Go to EURGBP. So very, very strong move towards the latter end of the week. Taking previous monthly high and just blasting through it, really. On our weekly chart, we've actually taken buy side liquidity off a lot of candles. The previous, how near we hit, about 7, 8, and blowing above these, we've actually closed above them. And this week, what I would expect from the price is actually a continuation. We've got what is a bit of an accumulation here. We can consider this as the manipulation move, taking all of this buy side, and we still do want to see price overall trade a bit lower. I want to see price, trade towards this sell side target, especially now that we've sort of induced it. We've engineered more liquidity over here with this low, this whole accumulation. So what I would be waiting for is definitely very similar to the DXY. We're waiting for that previous weekly high sweep, and we see if price wants to push high. Does it want to take these highs out first, or will we take that previous weekly high and get the displacement down? If we get the kick down, just be careful of these fair value gaps that have been created for continuation. Don't get sucked into that bias until we get a clear disrespect. If we can get, for example, the ideal sort of scenario for the reverse of the previous weekly high run, and then price hammers down, violates one of these fair value gaps, trades through them, and then on the lower time, on the 4 round, 1 hour, we get clear bearish order flow, price of respecting the bearish raised, then we have a clear bias for price to then start trading lower towards these targets, right? But overall, if we do get that reversal, what that would mean is if we are bearish on the DXY, or when we are bearish on the DXY, and when we are bearish on the Euro USD, that would make for GBP USD being the better long, right? not much to really talk about on DXY, I'm being honest. Sorry, not DXY, Bitcoin. We know we're still in an inside monthly candle, very cumulative. Come down, we've got sideways candle, we've got this sweep on taking the previous candle's high and low, but when we come on the daily chart, we realize this looks like a very strong manipulation and then a move down. So now if we treat this as an AMD, which has technically played out, we would expect continuation this way. This has already been our draw liquidity. So what I'd potentially like to see here on is perhaps a move to go from this high to low, a retracement into this area, and then continue towards the target. But it would not surprise me if price sort of just trades higher and just continues manipulating, considering we've taken both sides. You know, Bitcoin sort of known to do that before we get one big flash of this bit at some point, and then a large scale reversal higher again, right? But like I said, you know, Bitcoin to me, intraday trading doesn't usually make sense, especially when it's not trending. Get sideways like this, it's just a matter of patience. Let the candles play out and just let it reveal itself. Oh, how is the month forming to start? So we knew that the previous monthly low was our first drawn liquidity. We are still, you know, within about the first 11, 12 days of the month. We want to see price trade through this. And we are very close to doing so. We want to see it take this sell side liquidity before we consider any sort of reversal. When we have candles like this, where we've taken the previous weekly high / low, we've got a strong move one way, it's very likely the next candle will continue lower, which is exactly what we want to see. And with CPI, PPI this week, it's very likely we'll get a good move on the S&P, right? So what we can potentially see, if we can get on Monday, which is a bit cumulative, trades higher, and does not take this drawn liquidity, for you S&P traders, what you could look for is this candle to become a daily fair value gap, right? Let's assume Monday trades a little bit here, then Tuesday opens, we have the PPI trade into this, and then down, right? That will take your sell side, and potentially after the sell side is taken the previous monthly high, we could consider a reversal, depending on how the chart is shaping up and, you know, the sort of numbers that CPI brings in for us. But again, here, I would play it simple. If we do get a continuation, if you do have a sort of clear setup to trade towards this, then of course it's a very obvious target to sit in duck. It's not something I would look to trade towards on the Monday. If this gets taken on the Monday, then just sit on your hands, be patient, see if the news offers you a reversal. And if it does eventually offer that reversal, then we can look for price to start trading higher. And we'll have a lot of targets to pick off in this area. But that is it for this week's outlook, guys. I'll be very honest, there's nothing, you know, extremely clear where the market is right now. Like I've been saying, we are only 11 days into the year and into the monthly candle. Some monthly candles, it takes us getting to the midpoint, which would be about the end of this week, for everything to become clear. The first half of the month has nothing, and then the second half of the month, your bias is now so clear, and you get amazing trading days back to back to back. Right? It's a matter of patience. If it's not clear, there's no need to force it. Just be patient. The trading days will come, and of course when they do come, we'll talk about them on here and in future weekly outlooks. If there are sort of, you know, other good trades often in the week, if I'm not making breakdowns, there's other specific really textbook days I'll try to discuss, just so you guys get a better idea of what we're looking for on a week to week, day to day basis, right? But that is it for the weekly outlook. As usual, any questions at all, please just drop me a message and I'll be happy to help.